Good morning, good morning, good Sunday morning.
Hello, hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to. We are, of course, at the downtown market in the middle of downtown. 10 years in a row. This is the 5th year we've been here. This place is familiar now, right, Denise?
Yes.
And thankful for Lynn here, who manages the market, for having us every year, really, 5 years. And we are actually kind of emceeing our Vegan. Evan and Chandler are on the way. They actually are picking up one of their vans that they're going to be doing in DC next weekend, right? Actually, for a whole week.
Yes. Blocked off the street in case you're wondering, but you'll still be allowed to get out. Don't worry.
Teamwork here too, also. So it's like 2.5 minutes in front of 10, like 2.5 minutes. Although I'm sure I've seen people walking around here already.
Yeah.
You guys, if you're watching this talk live like we do, and in the very beginning, because we want to let people know that we are actually an event, and there's all kinds of plant-based foods, products, and services available. We're hungry. I know I'm hungry, right?
Yeah, me too. We're live on Facebook.
Yes, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, all these different platforms. So if you're out there watching us, give us a like, give us a thumbs up, share this with your friends, tag your friends watching us online too. You're not that far away from us. You can get here, take a nice Sunday drive out to what used to be the country, I'd say. Here, but this place is developing so fast. Anybody who's been around here for a little while, we've been here since 2014. I can tell you since 2014, so much development going on here. And I know also that with the skyrocketing real estate prices, especially in southern Florida, that more and more people not only are moving to Florida, to this area of Florida from southern Florida, because southern Florida is getting out of control. Yes.
Yeah.
And this is actually also, and you'll see our little mascot or whatever it is. I don't know. Yeah, it'll come up here in the screen in a second. This horse is not the kind that you used to see in a huge equestrian area. We know that, but it's actually a wild horse, and you can see there it is.
On that horse. It's a wild horse.
Yeah, wild. And did you know you can see wild horses around here in Preserve, which is just south of Gainesville, just up 75.
Oh, we saw them.
We've seen wild buffalo there, believe it or not, in Florida. Like now, you can go over there and see it. Don't go not here. So anyway, we are less than a minute to go. So there it is. There's the big. That's our horse. And if you walk around downtown, if you've never been here before, if you're new to Ocala, you'll see horses, right?
Yeah.
I see a horse in the sidewalks. I see horseshoes. So anyway, that's from way back when you needed horses. And when was that? Before the automobile. Do we need to do that anymore? I don't think so, actually.
No.
I'd much rather drive a really than get on something like that. Because I can go a lot more places, a lot more quickly. I don't have to worry about it. Rain, all that kind of stuff. I know modern conveniences.
Yeah. Before I forget, I have some certified healthy vegan food items.
There it is on the screen right there.
Yeah, and Bambi's Vegan Cafe brought some entrees that are new. I'm really happy to hear that. Yeah, and there are always healthy items too. He has coconuts, so you can drink the coconut water, and I believe he has just pineapple and ice. But thank you, Bambi, for bringing salt and oil.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it because I don't do well. I don't do much of that stuff.
The vegan comfort.
Yeah, Denise loves it, by the way. Everyone's different, okay? But for me, and we're going to get into that in our speech as to why I'm like that and why I even wrote a book about knowing that information. So I guess we could start. Denise, you're up.
Introduce my husband, the president of aPlantBasedDiet.org, Mike Young. He started in 2014 when he didn't have any vegan friends, and he wanted to start new friends.
Yeah, and by the way, I also bought the house here in Silver Springs. Everybody know where Silver Springs is? In Ocala National Forest, just east of here. I bought the house 2014. I turned vegan. I didn't know anybody to do. Turned to the internet, started communities, started an organization, tried to do some live events.
I began my nonprofit leadership work as the president of my condo. I moved from Erie, where that was, and when I met Mike in 2017, it was all wrong. He encouraged me to
all wrong.
Yeah, I was doing paleo. So he encouraged me to read the Chinese study, which I did, and pretty much overnight. And
what was the main point you got out of the China study?
You eat more than 5% of your calories from casein, which is the dairy. There's a link there to cancer, and I did also.
Nobody does. Nobody wants to.
Yeah, and most animal products are more, which is really high. And when you eat a high percentage of calories from fat, you increase. And I lost family members to diabetes, and I didn't want to put my family through what they put. I switched. So since doing that, I lost 20 pounds. I weigh the same weight, so my clothes still fit that size. And Mike and I are able to go running more 5Ks and win in our age group. It was a lot of fun.
We did. And guess what? We also travel all the time. So we need to work out during our travels.
None.
How about procedures, therapies you have to go to?
No,
How about prescriptions?
No time for dialysis.
Good.
No prescription.
So that's actually, if you think about it, most people over 50, we're over 50, one of those things on that list, and that's not good. We don't like that. Nobody likes that.
Yeah, some of my high school no longer with us. I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, we've been to a few funerals. Once you get over 50, funerals and weddings, it seems like.
Yes. So I'll tell you about the nonprofit people, animals, and our planet. From the people perspective, I'm sure you've all heard that plant-based diets are associated with lower blood pressure, better stabilized blood sugar, and reduced body weight. And overall reduces your risk of heart disease, diabetes, cancer, and other diseases, even asthma, arthritis, what might cause type 3 diabetes, which is.
Are there any negatives to eating plants?
I can't think of any.
Doing this.
I'm guessing they're following each other like sheep.
Simple habits. Nobody was taught this stuff growing up, so that's why we have decided to start this organic education.
Right. So if you're new to this, I recommend you read the Chinese Diet, How Not to Diet, or Neil Barnard's program for reversing diabetes, prevent and reverse heart disease by Dr. Caldwell SST. Or 50 by Mike Young.
Yeah, that's my book. It's totally free too.
Yeah, it's a free ebook. I hear about why oil is bad for human health, and I'm not saying we do have food here that's deep fried and it's delicious, but we don't eat it every day. Yeah,
there's actually about cheat meals. I think it's important. You should be able to indulge every once in a while, and indulge without animal products. You won't even crave them anymore.
Yeah, I'm going to indulge in some. But if you want to read why oil causes heart disease and how to reverse videos for free at healthyveganfood.info.
Yeah, that healthyveganfood.org that our nonprofit has developed to as like a baseline to call something healthy. Oil thing, yeah, unfortunately it's a very highly processed food, and we do believe that everyone agrees.
Yes. So If you look at the mind diet on this, you can read this article in Scientific American that Alzheimer's factors, and that's the best and the only way to reduce your dementia risk.
Denise mentioned earlier, I kind of refer to this as type 3 diabetes. It's just the next kind of a type 2, only in your brain, in the smaller blood vessels and passages, and enough time, haltable, reversible, and even preventable, so you never have to get it. Their genes or their family history. That is not anything more than kind of the habits that you were taught. If they're bad, just don't do those bad habits anymore. That's all.
It would be to avoid saturated fat if you're at risk for Alzheimer's or dementia. The second part of our slogan is about the animals, and I borrowed this saying from a humane way to kill an animal that doesn't want to die. And meat is not essential. Protein deficiencies are rare in this country, even among vegetarians, and that you need to supplement is B12. It's very easily supplemented. We don't need animal.
Yeah, and let's make it clear too that the real issue is not protein. Everybody says plant-based thing. Where do you get your protein? That's not an issue, because protein is, the animals get their protein by eating the plants. What's the real issue is how much fiber is in animal products?
0.
Yeah, fiber in animal products. And most people have issues with their gut, leaky gut. They're even potentially, and actually, finding out a lot of mental health issues have to do with gut tox directly to the brain. What's the way that you optimize your gut health? What's the one? That's it, fiber. So that's why we're talking about plants. Everybody doesn't want to have problems.
So this is us doing some animal rights activism. I know a lot of people think that we're focused. We're really not. We don't want to cause harm to the animals either. So this is us side of it. It looks like a Louis Vuitton store, but shortly after the series of protests, Yves Saint Laurent dropped fur.
It does work. Is there anybody out there that would say they're not an animal lover? I mean, everyone's an animal lover out there. We just saw there's a cat actually that hangs around here that we're friends with now at the downtown market. You just don't want to hurt him, right? And if you don't have to, if it's better, of course, this is like a no-brainer.
So for our planet, I usually let my Amazon rainforest that's being chopped down at an alarming rate just to feed the cattle or to plant grain for the cattle. And none of this is this. The red tide is also an environmental issue that you can change with your diet.
Yes, something you may not just brought up is that you realize that most food, right, that's grown, even grown to feed humans, it's just that animal agriculture is so easy to eat so much that most of the food that's grown goes to feed those animals. People stopped eating animal products, animal meat.
And we could turn those growing organic foods for humans, and we wouldn't have all this red tide.
Yeah, and there's food available that we could ever even need at that point, right? I mean,
Yes.
and
Yeah. So this is our food certification program, healthyveganfood.info.
yeah, let me talk to you about this for a minute. You get a new slide, I think. Yeah, that's that logo. That's our logo, and the most complicated part of going plant-based. Definitely, no question about it. Like, if you love animals, if you don't buy any more animal products, you're done, right? It's that easy. Okay, if you want to do the best thing you can, well, two things. Number one, don't ever buy any more animal products. That's easy enough too. Plant-based stuff everywhere you go. The other thing is try to buy organic and do organic whenever you can. Those two things will have like the biggest possible benefit to the environment. Now your health, because health is very complicated. The body's complicated. Like Denise and I talked about, most people that are at least 50 years old, like we are, it's usually built up habits, bad habits. They usually involve eating animal products and other. Know what to eat. That's the question. Like, this is really complicated. Like, what do we eat? Health certification. Denise has the clicker. She's going to click to the next slide. It's going to tell you what. Okay. Basically, any food that meets the certification, and we have, Denise is talking about have food that meets the certification. You want to go through who it is today before we go into what it is?
Red tent right across from me where I'm pointing. There are 6 healthy vegan food items. Foods, and the lady who's running the booth there, Moida, I think that's, yeah, she's going to be doing a talk at noon about how she reversed her daughter's cancer by going. And over here at the Corn Soup King, they have over there. They have coconuts that you can have chopped open. You can drink the coconut. Delicious. They're also doing pineapple smoothies. It's just pineapple and ice, so it's really no added sugar, oil, or salt. And Bambi's Cafe is a couple of items with no oil or salt. So thank you, everyone, for bringing that.
Certification mean, here it is. Number 1, you have to have whole plant fiber. We just discussed the problem that humans have that affects their health the most detrimentally is a lack of fiber, not a lack of protein. Ever met anybody that has too little protein and been hospitalized or treated for it?
No.
Yeah. I've yet to see up here anybody that fits that description.
There's no protein deficient wing in cardiology.
But like we said, if you're going to have a leaky gut, if you're going to have anything with your digestive system, is probably related to not getting enough fiber. Even your mental health is related potentially to not getting enough fiber, the imbalance. So you have to have fiber, number 1. Number 2, we talked about animal products hurt animals. Okay? There's no way to get around that. Animal products, everyone loves animals. It's as simple as that. Just don't get them anymore. There's plant-based stuff everywhere. Plant-based milks, plant-based cheeses, plant-based ice creams, plant-based milks.
Meat.
What else? Yeah, and just plants. Yeah. There's no excuse anymore. Okay, number 3, 0 added oil. Earlier, Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn is on our website. If you go to healthyveganfood.info, as it says up there, it explains the entire science as to why you want no oil. And the simple explanation, and everybody agrees, you should not eat processed food. It's okay to do as a treat, but so next one is 0 added salt or sodium. That's another. All plants already have sodium. Did you know that? That's not the salt industry. Already. They already have salt, and actually it's in a bioavailable form. It's way better for you than what you spawn on, and that's why we don't allow it in there. It's not plants at all. It's crushed rocks, or if they get it from crushed rocks. Unless, of course, you get it from seaweed. That's the plant. But if you get it floating around, that's from the rocks. Rocks are not good. Don't eat rocks. I would never recommend that. And yes, it causes. Someone's going to talk about high blood pressure next. I have a feeling they're going to mention sodium. The other thing is, no alcohol is a group 1 carcinogen. What does that mean? You go on the internet, look it up. It's in your phone. You're watching me on the phone right now. But you can look it up.
It likely causes cancer.
Well, actually, it does cause cancer. Humans. Everything in group 1 is a known carcinogen. Like, they're not questioning it. The only question is, get cancer. And no one likes cancer. So I know that a lot of the stuff is, we've all been, you look at the list. Oh my gosh, my parents drank. We put salt on everything. Of course, they couldn't be talking about, well, like I said, we were just taught wrong. That's all. Just gotta learn some new habits. Refined sugar. So refined sugar, the problem with refining sugar is that the fiber, all the fiber is removed. So you just have empty calories, all the nutrition is removed. There's plenty of foods, by the way. We just had a dinner yesterday at Crohn's Creek
Conserve, which is area is 1,000-acre farm. It's actually 780 acres or something like that.
You can round it up.
And we ate all of the plants from their farm. They were all organic. They were all very middle cooked. That was it.
Yeah.
And didn't have any of this stuff in it that I named you. And it was amazing. The problem is, no one really makes food like this because we're only just now coming in phase of humanity where we figured this all out. So we as a nonprofit are trying to let you guys know this is the future, and we're going to help you get there. If you want to go to our next event, like we had last night, stay in touch.
We had wild orange pie for dessert, and it didn't have any dishes.
And actually, I found a use because, like I said, I bought my house in 2014 in Silver Springs, and then Mike, you got oranges, but they're really sour. It turns out, as I talked to they're wild oranges. They're native. They grow. They resist all the frost and everything. They don't taste, but they make a great pie, great dessert. So we need to know that now.
Yeah, you have to extract when you want to use it and freeze the rind too. So this is leashed.org, and if you like to cook, you can find under for healthy recipes like a vegan mac and cheese with no added oil or salt, for example. Yes, you can even order some healthy prepared food, like from Plants is another one. I think leashed delivers too. So don't feel like you have plant-based to go on a plant-based diet. So as Michael mentioned, the question where vegan is not where do you get your protein, because all plants have to make protein. They eat it from the plants just like we should. So if you're getting enough protein just from plants, and just as a comparison, as much protein as cow's milk. So if you're drinking cow's milk and you think it's good for you, it's not. It's the wrong kind of protein.
It's designed for another species, though. It's perfect for cows, right? If you're a cow, it's like putting a square peg in a round hole. You might be able to jam it in there.
Yeah, so human breast milk for 8 ounces, it only has 2 points. So people that think they need a lot more than that, think again. If we needed it, Mother Nature would have made it for us.
Of course, is first thing I said is forget protein, go to fiber. But the other thing is out there is getting too much protein and the wrong type, the type that causes cancer. Humans, to give a number, don't get enough fiber every single day.
Yeah, so the wrong kind of humans need long chain fatty acids, and animals make short chain fat. Specifically, why it's the wrong kind of protein for you. We can't synthesize it because we're not babies.
Exactly.
So the real question is, where do you get your fiber? And you need 25 to 30, and that's according to the American Heart Association. And most Americans are only getting about.
So we're not even close. Not only are 95% of people not getting enough, it's not even close.
And that causes all sorts of health issues. So what do we eat in order to get enough fiber? People, for those that are just going plant-based for the first time.
Can I give the short version first? Because Denise has a long version. Is we eat probably more than 50%, like 60% raw, organic, depending upon the season, and then we will eat. Usually, if you eat cooked food, is for dinner, and we'll eat meal too, but all plants and minimally processed plants. Instead.
Yeah. So this day was raw till dinner time. We had the pint for breakfast, for lunch, this huge smoothie up there. We drink way more smoothie than that.
And we generally have more smoothies in the hotter weather.
Yeah.
Also, kind of seasonal, I guess, in a way.
I had these grapes for a snack. For dinner, we had this huge salad, whole bag of organic cut French fries from Whole Foods. We put them in the, don't add any oil, and we cook them up.
They don't have salt. They're organic, and they don't have salt added either.
Yeah, these ones are, and we cook them at 345 degrees because anything over 350 degrees form, and those are cancer causing.
Yeah, did you know that? If you cook look it up online. Don't acrylamide. I don't know how to spell that. But anyway,
CRL.
let's say you go to a cookout and you get these black lines, these grill marks. That's kind of an indication of the process. See something like that?
Yeah.
So it's fine to cook stuff, just lightly cook it. So anything under 350 of that is the problem.
Yeah, the grill marks are a big giveaway. That is
And
all wrong.
the color too. There's a reason why we have color vision and other species that are actually seeing color. You know why? It's because they don't need to see the fruits and vegetables. They don't need to know because they don't eat that stuff. They're not designed for that, but we are.
Yeah, a cat does colorful mouse. They see something gray in the dark, it's moving, they're gonna chase it down.
Yeah.
As you can see, our diet is mostly carbs, and there are books on this, like the 80% of your calories from carbs and 10% from protein and 10%.
About that for a moment. We talked earlier about salt. There's a difference between the crushed rock food with a salt shaker or add when you're cooking versus the salt/sodium that's all in the plants is way more bioavailable. Let's talk about carbs. How's that related to carbs? Well, bad carbs. We all agree that processed food is not good. That's good, right? Anything processed. In other words, aka not natural. Not food as whole plant carbs, which is basically the entire plant, the fiber. You can cut it up, you can blend it, it's still a whole carb. That is treated completely than a processed carb. Just like the salt is treated different from your body. There's other aspects to it, like water is another one. There's other ones too. We'll get into those eventually.
So if you're thinking Atkins or keto is the way to go with animal products, please don't do it at all. So here's what we ate on day 2. We oats, that huge smoothie for lunch, that entire watermelon.
Look at that watermelon.
Turned in a blend.
It's way bigger than my head.
Yeah, and we add chia seeds and flax seeds to our omega-3s. You don't need to take fish oil. That's not even vegan. Any oil or eat any fish.
So what do we do for omega-3s? The whole thing with omega-3s is not that, and you definitely don't need an animal product if animal products have protein that causes cancer in humans. So once your omega-3s and omega-6s, and the way we do that is just by eating some flaxseed seasoning on our salads that we have almost every day. Not every day we have salad, but most days we do.
Smoothies too.
You can, yeah.
So day 3, there's a chai tea latte out there. We had all that fruit for breakfast. I ate that whole bag as it was cherry season. This was last September. And then that huge salad with all those items. 22 grams of protein and 43 grams of fiber.
There's a lot of produce. Okay, here's the thing with produce. Nobody wants to eat bad vegetables. So what does that mean? That means you need to, first of all, I'd say the best tasting ones I've ever had are organic because they don't have any chemicals on them or sprayed into them or absorbed into them for the most part. And the other thing is you want to buy local. Like we were at Crohn's Cradle Conserve yesterday. We were met with all these vegetables. He's going to be adding some fruits, I think like blueberries, right, and other things.
Yeah.
And develop relationships with your local farmers. Why? Because a lot of times the stuff you get, a lot of times those varieties, and we only have a few varieties, are designed to transport well. And they're designed to stay on the shelf and look good for the longest taste good. Okay? So for you want it to taste good. You want it to be picked. You want it to be local if possible. So you got to learn, either grow it yourself or you got to learn from them.
So we had some arugula in our salad from Crohn's Cradle Conserve. So tender and moist. I I don't want grocery store salad anymore.
Different levels to this, and here's the thing. I think, Denise and I grew up in the 70s and 80s. High quality vegetables. I don't know, that wasn't like the time when all the craft was booming, right? And I remember kind of like gray canned green beans. It just wasn't appetizing. It wasn't good. But nowadays, this is the way society is going to go. Farmers need to hear from you. Go tell them you want fresh, local, organic, if possible, fruits and vegetables. You're willing to pay for them. That's the thing. You got to go buy them. If you're willing to buy and pay all your money for them, it's way better than buying the alternatives, in which most cases make people not feel well.
You can grow your own. You can get a tower garden back there with juice plots. They can show you how to grow herbs.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
So, day 4 food, if you're not into eating raw most of the day, here we have those huge bowl oats and those blueberries and some maple syrup on top. You get a little tahini on it, and we make our own soy milk, so there's no added oil milk.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that for a minute. We got a couple things going on here. A couple things I can comment on, because without knowing the details, like I said, the details are really important for health, right? Denise, you mentioned milk. Milk says, at any store. The thing is, like, let's say we have soy milk. You put soy milk into. You would think it was just soybeans and water, but the stuff you buy in the store is not, because it needs to do a lot of other things that the producers want. It's not necessarily good for your health. So if you do it just soybeans and just water and purified water. Another thing is, what did you talk about there? Yes, okay, the pasta. I love pasta. Okay, I love pasta. I want to give you some stipulations over, and it's an easy meal to make because I don't like to cook either. So just making a pasta dish is. So what you want to do is you want to get organic pasta if possible, and you want to get whole wheat. Now, if you always get one of the alternative pastas, but you want to get brown, dark whole wheat. That's what you really want to get. What's the difference between the whole wheat version of something and the white version? Move a lot of the fiber and some of the nutrition. So if you want all the fiber, which you need, good enough, and it's not even close, it's like half of what you're supposed to be getting. You got to do that. The other thing is red pasta sauce. Here's the problem. If I go to the store, I don't like to cook because I've looked at all the jars, and every single one has added salt, and every single one. Now, do you need salt and oil to make a pasta sauce taste good? No. Actually, if you discussed earlier, you don't want the salt and oil. So I make it myself. I get some organic, I get spices, I get a little tomato paste, and that's the thing with the tomato paste is your organic tomatoes that you can find stuff without salt added. The tomato paste is a little more challenging, I'll tell you that.
Fine as a treat. There's plenty of it here. I'm going to have some too as a treat. But this is what we normally eat.
But also keep in mind, we don't have any chronic health illness. And this is a very important point and cannot be understated.
Right. If you have heart disease, your oil with every single meal. So that arugula was from the store. Last night at Crohn's Conserve, that sometimes these salads are picked 2 weeks ahead of time and transported.
Yes. So even if you're like me, right? They used to see me. I go in the store like salad. So I'll look through every date on there and I'll find the furthest out expiration date. But they used to tell.
Yeah, so it's not as good. Plants lose their nutritional value within the pit. So
yeah. And Denise, you said it before. I've heard you in this talk. You say, and this is not animals. If we were talking about animals, this would be creepy. But you want this plant to think it's still alive. That's if you're going to get full nutrition value. Now, with an animal, that's really messed up. Another reason why you don't thinking about that is disgusting.
Yeah. So, not to eat.
What not to eat?
Don't eat a whole bag of Oreos. I know they're vegan, but they're.
I grew up on Oreos. You grew up. We know people that their whole thing is they seek out thing, all habits. You wonder why your genes are bad. They're not. You're programmed to eat this stuff by all the commercials. Like you were watching commercials all the time, right? Because there's only a few networks running and running and running. Nowadays with the internet, you can opt out all that stuff, which is awesome. That's why we all are stuck with these advertising, marketing, programming, habit.
I got these food. I got the nutrition information from MyFitnessPal and actually calculated the calories in a whole bottle of vodka because they probably drank one. We don't condone this. So, what's interesting is the sodium from that bag of Oreos was more than the daily recommended, which is 1,500 milligrams. Another reason why you want to avoid processed food as a treat. So here's what we have just recently. We're into having 2 pineapple grapes for a snack. I had those baby cucumbers as a snack. We still eat them with microgreens.
And I will tell you, this is not super easy. Okay, you have to do today's. You know, I'm pretty darn good at seeking out and finding good right hard. Most of the pineapples I find don't look like that picture. They're solid green. They ripen much all after you pick them. So there's a skill set that's involved. It's like learning something new. And actually, when you learn something new, your brain is going to be better, which is awesome. So always try to learn something new.
Yeah. So this day I still had my milk. We still got our omega-3s from the flax and chia seeds. We ate this whole bag. Whole Foods has some that are no salt added. And it's hard to find dressing. Probably going to have oil in it, but this one we found from Cindy's Kitchen, which you can get at Sprouts, or much sodium added at all.
It's only that type. I will tell you that is the most challenging part about veggies are not the challenge. Okay? Of course, don't put any meat or anything to help, but the dressings, man, like literally every single dressing, I would say you don't want to treat, but not as a regular part of your diet. That one's okay, actually. So we're happy to have found it.
Tzatziki is pretty low in sodium too, so we'll get that.
Doesn't say low sodium, but we looked at all the nutritional information, and I'd say it's at least 5 times than anything else.
Yeah, because tzatziki doesn't really need salt, I don't think. So those are just some ideas on what to eat. So as a nonprofit, we run a lot in Southwest Florida. This one was at Farmer Mike's last year. We had Chuck Carroll come in. He used to wear those pants. They're size 66 waist.
Yeah. Let's talk about these festivals. You may not know this. This is year number 5 for us here at Ocala Downtown Market. And, yes, year number 5 for us. And this one on the street of that down at Bonita Springs is the longest running event. We started this one in 2017, and we've evolved this over time. As you see, you look around here, we're in the middle of the city, park almost, or an event space, which is awesome because we get lots of people who are kind of just walking by, wondering, screaming, we're talking, I hear music over there, we hear everything, right? Food, the next best thing, if we're keep talking about plants, is to what? The food is growing. If you look at that strawberry field, that's adjacent to where we set up our mix. And guess what? Unlike most farms, Farmer Mike's here in Bonita Springs, we'd like to see more like. So you basically go out on the field, you pick what you want, you stick it in a basket, they weigh it, and then that's how they determine how much you pay. It's brand new. You know it because you just did it yourself, even though you did none of the effort of growing it, to grow this stuff. You know this, right?
Yeah.
It's not kidding ourselves.
It's fun to teach kids. Should all come from a grocery store.
Yes, and by the way, you mentioned the China study. That is Dr. T. Colin Campbell. I think for the last couple of years, he's been at least one of our events. He's going to be at. We're on the road to Savannah in 2 weeks. He's going to be there.
Yeah.
At the
showing on the chart here is how he turned on and off in mice by changing their diet. When he fed them more than 5% of their cancer, when he stopped feeding them that, the cancer went away. There's a direct correlation.
He wasn't guessing. Okay? This guy knows, and you can imagine industries that don't want that information to get out, and that's kind of why it's not common knowledge still. And it's more out here providing you with the information because we need to tell you, I cannot in good conscience do it if animal protein causes cancer. And it's not me, it's Dr. T. Colin Campbell. Read this book if you want.
Hear more testimonies at noon. There's a family here who healed their daughter of cancer when she was, look, she's a teenager over in the.
Yeah, did you know that cancer could be reversed? Did you know that? It's just, most of what we're talking about, like, okay, I know people that are not doing well. Well, they got high blood pressure, they got type 2 diabetes, strokes, heart attacks. These are all diseases. And cancer is one too. And if you can, meaning you're not on your downward spiral and basically picking out your burial anyway, as you've learned recently, if you're not in that spot, you can still reverse heart, and you're going to learn that today. You will learn that today. This is for real. We're not.
So, we also speak at Charlotte County Veg Fest, and that's also with Dr. Greger back in 2020.
Yeah, and Dr. Greger, by the way, is our associate. He just turned 50. I'm 53, and Denise is 52. So this is what you can. We don't go to the doctors because we don't have any chronic health illnesses. We have no prescriptions to fill, no whatever. I mean, there's so many things you can do.
I gave Dr. Greger some samosas that day. He kind of turned his nose at them. We wanted something healthy.
Well, that's part of this puzzle. We need more of the healthy vegan food. We need to see more places. Vendors have something for you to vet.
Yes. That's the corn soup king babies.
True to us. And that's true to us. They're the ones who are going to get to talk about reversing food vendor efforts. So go support them too.
Yes, and don't forget about your desserts and stuff.
All here, yeah.
Yeah, it's all here.
And no animal products.
Right. So hear about all of our travels and where we eat when we're on the road, or you can follow us on our YouTube channel at aPlantBasedDiet.org.
All kinds of content there. All kinds. We are constantly traveling, and if you think it's a possible cage and have someone feed you plants to keep, you don't need to do that. Okay.
Not hard. So if you go to aPlantBasedDiet.info, and I'll take if you want to hear about upcoming veg fests or dinners that we have at restaurants.
Yes, that slide. That is the most important one. If you want to go to more of these events, and we want you to, events.info, you might have to set up an Eventbrite account. I don't know how it works, but you can follow us. See that little blue is following? You can follow us, and when you do, every time we launch another event or 2 events on our calendar, you'll get some kind of notification directly from Eventbrite. So you don't have to be on social media. Or
email from Eventbrite. You don't have to follow us on Facebook or YouTube if you don't want to. Some of the events that we.
Something smells good. That smells like food.
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
We have a carnival coming now. Here's it. We had at the Spice Club recently. There's another one coming up in December.
Well, that's down in Southern Florida. We partner with restaurants, okay? And there are more and more restaurants now that offer plant-based. It's awesome. But we're going to see the healthy vegan food in the restaurants. So if you all know a restaurant around here, please, we would love to have a special event like that. That one in the upper right-hand corner. That one takes place every year in Fort Myers, and we have like over 200 people show up for the Indian food buffet, vegan, but healthy vegan food. The whole thing met all of our standards.
Yeah, they did it without oil.
The big plus is I'm a big eater, even though I don't look like a big eater. Okay, I'm constantly trying to eat because I got no big deal because I love to eat. And
the thing is, if I eat food that's not the highest quality, Denise will tell you, I get sick, whether it's within an hour of when I ate it, or definitely the next morning. I feel it. I'm telling you.
Look at acid reflux from eating.
Not good. There's a direct correlation here, so hopefully you guys are picking up on that.
Yeah. So we're communities, and those are all communities where you can grow your own food, control things like whether or not you have to use chemicals, and then all of these ones are.
More about these. These communities are 100% vegan, meaning they don't do any eating or wearing or even farming. And another word for them is eco-villages. And we're involved in this because, like we said, if this is a thing where we just weren't taught this from the 70s and 80s, nobody told me any of this stuff. It's not like they just invented this stuff. If you go back to the Garden of Eden, if you remember that, they were eating fruits and vegetables. Okay? So have been brought together by the internet. They're in places where you can grow all your food all year round. Because here in Florida, there's seasons, right? I mean, can you do oranges or live over there in the county? No. Okay, we all know that. There's lots of things you cannot grow here for outdoors. And if growing outdoors is important to you, maybe the idea is why don't we move to an area where we can grow all the food outdoors, and why don't we waste while we're at it, and why don't we make sure it's really cheap and affordable? And by the way, can someone know any affordable land in Florida, please? Raise your hand. So obviously it's anymore. We know that. Okay, we have there's lots available. We have some for $3,400 for 1.25 acres. It's more than enough space you can grow all your food. Should we go back?
Well, I was going to name lots with the. Okay. We bought a property in hectares. It's 71 acres, so we have lots for sale for $3,400. You can sell over a 1 acre lot, and that's enough to build your house and put all your food on it.
Yeah, grow your own food. Because wouldn't it also be nice if you could not have to irrigate your plants outside? Because the thing in Florida, yes, absolutely. And that's the growing season, right? If you're growing veggies, you're growing them in the winter to irrigate. So there's the problem. You don't have enough water. Over here, this is in the Amazon rainforest. It rains all the time. You do not need to irrigate anything. And almost all the different species, the majority of life species of plants and animals are located in that area because it's very conducive to life.
12 hours of sunlight every day.
And that's another thing. Yes, that's right. And do they ever change the time on you? They don't. It's every single day.
Yeah,
It's a totally different lifestyle. Limited this in the nonprofit because we do believe that going plant-based is the future. So if make it affordable, if growing your own food is important because you don't know how old this food is, you don't know somewhere where it's easy to do that, or at least the easiest place. Because farming is a lot of work, but it's a lot easier. By the way, it's a lot easier if you don't show up by yourself or your wife and try to do it with two people, which would be us. Okay? Why don't you go to an established community of fully vegan community cultural practices? They already know how to do all this stuff, and they can teach you for nothing.
Yeah, we're saying that there are volunteers on the property, like 15 at any given moment. We're going to plant out our property for us. So there's going to be banana trees back there, pineapples, ornamental flowers too to mix everything in. And it's going to look nice.
But they'll be all the time, and it's easy to grow, and it's growing right outside. You can just pick it fresh. And by the way, one of the reasons why we did this house is to show you guys. We want you to rent it, even or not, and it's incredibly inexpensive. Is the other thing. I know it's hard to get there, but you can take the vacation of a lifetime that you've never experienced before. I can guarantee you that you've never experienced anything. You can go during the Amazon Fruit Festival. The Amazon Fruit Festival happens in this community. That's the name of the community. It happens every third week of January. We've been there for 4 years in a row. All about that festival is it's a totally raw vegan festival. and they provide you unlimited time. Half of it, I say, is just the actual food is grown plants, the right fruits. The other half of it is prepared raw vegan foods, and again, it's all you can eat, as much as you can eat. It's way less money than you would think. And this, if this house is interesting to you, right at leashed.org, that's a direct link to the Airbnb listing. You can see how inexpensive it is. You'll be rented an Airbnb recently, how low price this is.
Yeah, this is less than $40 a night. Everything else on Airbnb is in the hundreds per night.
And well, that's if you rent it for a day or two. The longer, it's a lot less.
Yeah, that's true. You can rent it for a week or a month. So Fruit Haven is where we have lots for sale. If you're interested in growing your own food, cheap and warm, you don't need heat or air conditioning.
And let me tell you another one. Okay, need heat or air conditioning. Can anybody survive in Florida without air conditioning in the summer? Please raise your hand. No, I didn't think so. So that's a huge load. That's a huge amount of money you got to pay to put an air conditioner when it breaks and pay for the electric bill every single month, right? That's a lot of money. Another reason why it's so communities and why they picked them. And Denise said there's more than one community. There's 2 communities more, I can tell you. We know that have started up, and more people are moving there every day because we do believe we want you to experience it yourself, and you'll have a lot of content from us. So we're going to be putting a lot more content on stuff.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's the entire map of Fruit acreage.
See, that blue thing in the lower right corner, 71.8 acres, 500 to 1,000 acres in that all those parcels of Fruit Haven. And permaculture community. And again, I know this is new, you've probably never heard of it before, but we do believe, unless you can point me in the direction of some cheap land in Florida, like I said, or a place outdoors all day long. But we're still going to be in Florida because we do believe Florida is the best place in the U.S. to grow own food. No question about that. It's just that, is it the best place? That's the question.
This is our medicine.love. The LOVE stands for Local Organic Vegan. And Mike can tell you a little bit about where we got the name.
Okay, yeah. Lifestyle.love is the name of it. And it came from a movie called A Prayer for Compassion. It's about the spiritual side of veganism. And actually, it talks about that. But one of the guys in the movie coined the phrase love, local organic, because that is probably the highest level you can get to. And again, it's one of the reasons why we're here in Florida, because it's the best place to grow plants. Another reason why we're in Ecuador. And then the concept of lifestyle medicine, the paradigm that most of medicine is in right now, Western medicine, it's not about addressing disease, unfortunately. It's about managing symptoms. Okay, I am not credentialed in it, but I can tell you that's what it's about. I know enough people have watched their lives play out. They don't ever say, no, we have a talk here in a little bit telling you how to cure cancer, believe it or not. Somebody who's in the medical system because they don't even understand these concepts. However, a new branch of medicine where they are starting to acknowledge, and hopefully all, that's our hope, that your habits are the big determining factor in terms of your health. Guess what? Your genes, the way they're expressed, is changed by your habits, aka the food, expression of your genes. So if you think you have bad ones, you probably just have a bunch of bad habits that your relatives tell you out.
Bad habits and recipes that are passed down by your family.
That's right. But does that promote health or disease? Is the question.
All of our events are free outdoor events, except for the farm-to-table dinners, which you need it. So compared to other Veg Fests, others are private indoor events, and they charge even Vegan Day in New York City. You need a ticket to get out there.
Yes. Yeah, and they don't talk education, especially about optimizing your health, because it's really tough area.
Other veg tests serve alcohol too, which we stray away from because we know it's a group 1 person. So if you're interested in making a donation, we have a button there that you can. We also have a piggy bank over by our info tent here. We'll take cash donations. You can pay if you want. And all of the donations are, of course, tax deductible. You would like nutrition counseling. My husband can help you.
Yeah, this is me. Okay, why do I know all this stuff? And different my entire life, which we'll get to in a minute. But I am a lifestyle nutritionist because the 80-20 principle applies. 80% of your problems are the result of 20% of your actions. That's important is your habits, specifically the food. I cannot stress that enough. That's why, because in most cases, if you're not doing well, I can help you. It's only and the right knowledge. And like I said earlier, unless you're in a situation where you affect, okay, I'd say that's an outlying condition, or things have gone wrong with you for so long that in most cases, almost everything can still be reversed. That's how the body works.
Before maybe Mike can tell you what to expect if you'd like to schedule.
For me, you can talk to me for free, at least initially. I'll talk to you about discuss. I'd love to hear what's not right with you, even though it's not a pleasant conversation. Because most people, especially if you're over 50, you've got a lot of things that aren't right with you. But the hope is that you're going to realize that guess what? Somebody, when I was growing up, because it's all I've ever known, stuff. But now you're telling me that this stuff is making me sick? Yeah, that's how it works. It's like your habits, and I know that habits are the hardest things to change. It's why you need help, and that's why I'm doing this. Okay, another thing. This is totally for free, forever, all the time. If you really want to take a deep dive, say, okay, Mike, you say it's complicated. You say it's just a matter of choices, having better habits. Well, what are these things? Well, if you got about to sit here and listen to me, I'll tell you. Otherwise, you can start reading the book. This book, okay, here's the short story on why I wrote this book about living for 53. I've been different my whole life. Turns out, as I find age, everyone's getting sick while I'm not getting sick. It's not because I got lots of sick people in my family. You don't want to know about it, okay? It's not because I am different. I have chosen different habits. It's as simple as if we go with the premise that almost everyone's taught wrong and everyone's sick, because they do, except I do. I'll do that in a minute. Don't worry. You still got 20%. Let me think on that. So if we're going on the idea that it's habits, then you just want to change. Let's see. I'm gonna plug that in. There's a problem. Right?
Just hit enter. It'll close it.
I gotta make. Sometimes this thing doesn't like to charge. These are older computers we have.
Yeah, it's your laptop now.
Okay, now it's charging.
So you
It's
can
gone.
listen to Live to 150. It's on. So you can play it with your earbuds as you're out walking, like a podcast. You can phone or watch it from a laptop, like I did. I actually heard him record on the chat.
I'm back. Just troubleshooting that problem. So this is about. I know I plugged it in. It was charging at one point, and of course it stopped. Technical difficulties. Okay, charging. Hopefully it'll stay charging. So, that no one was taught this stuff right. I wasn't taught it right. I had to learn this stuff. Everything wrong, unfortunately. But we still live to be 75 years young. 75. That's the average. If you were taught everything correctly and how to do it right, I think you should be able to do it. Okay, so that means 75 up to 150. So I'm 53, I have 97, a sick downward spiral of, oh my gosh, I can't believe this
so alive kind of thing. Now, a purposeful life, a fun life, enjoyable life, and doing new things, learning new things into your oldest years. And possible, and that's why I wrote the book. I put it together. It's long, 150 chapters, so it's actually got 152 actual videos on it. When you go to LIVEQ, you go to the playlist on our YouTube channel. You can play it in order if you want. You can listen to it in your car. Go ahead and start immersing yourself in it, because you'll learn so many different habits. One of the habits is, what do you feed your listening to every day? What are you watching? Who are you hanging out with? Because you become like the 5 people you hang around with the most. It influences your habits and your ability to learn new things and your ability to optimize. I'm an incredible optimist because I'm telling everybody out here, it's not that I have special genes. But you guys know, if you look into genetics, that almost all humans, no matter what we look like, we're almost identically genetic the same, right? Almost the same.
99.9% the same.
Unless you have a birth defect or some severe trauma from an accident, we get that. We know this, but outside of that, it's in your control.
Dr. Tata was people in Ecuador that live to 120 because they're growing their own food. It's all under control of what they put in their body and breathe.
Yeah, those are blue zones. I have a chapter on the blue zones. It's communities. These communities that we showed you, the vegan intentional eco villages. So if you're familiar with that, all the blue zones happen kind of by accident because they have some good habits. Blue zones are happening with intentionality because we are intelligent now, we are connected and people, and we want to do the best we can and have fun. Okay? We can choose to have fun suffering.
Yes. So we have merch available if you're in our website on the merch tab, like this water bottle here.
Yeah, Denise has a water bottle. I like that. It's all available on our website. We don't keep any inventory. Just go to the website and order if you like it.
You can join our local vegan groups, vegan.Ocala.org. That also includes vegan.
Yes, that's our big group on Facebook. So join that if you can.
If you're in really high level, is everything okay? Table casualties. You can go to
This one's called Ocala Lifestyle.org. We also have the Plus Gainesville because it includes that area as well. Some of the events we do here, we do Gainesville Veg Fest once a year and this one. So this lifestyle is the lifestyle medicine concepts we were talking about earlier and optimizing your health. So if you really just well and you're not so concerned about just giving up animal products, you want to go all the way. And we know there's not as many people in this group because it's complicated. It's a lot of work actually, and it's relearning.
Yeah, mostly breaking bad habits. So you can follow us on Instagram.info. That's where I was posting all of the ads.
Yeah, all the vendors got on there.
I was promoting all the vendors in the past 24 hours. There's a specific to ask us about. We also have on our info table over here, and you can give us your email right there. We'll get you on our